Hey, I'm Kev. Let's go. Welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the Manager Career. As we're in Italy and in free practice, it is the Yamahas at the top. Look at this, Vinales ahead of the Flying Finn, and Rossi ahead of Dan McDonald in fourth. And then we've got the Ducatis of Petrucci and Dovi. And then it's the Hondas of Crutchlow, Pedrosa, Marquez down in ninth, and Zarco scraping through to qualifying 2 in 10th, just ahead of Ian only by 12 thousandths of a second. I'm sure the Italian's very happy about that in his home race. But let's see if we can carry over this practice form into qualifying. As it is dry, but you can see wet track. And we have the solid bike down into the final corner. Should have got down to third. But again, these are conditions that Dan McDonald excels in, and he's been excelling recently as well at the beginning of this season. So is the Flying Finn, so is all of the elusive riders really. Even the Portuguese rider in Moto2, he's now getting used to it. Got a podium last time out. And so our assault on all 3 championships looks to be very good as we're around further the way through the season. Especially in MotoGP, not just the Riders' Championship, but also the Teams' Championship, which is unbelievable, ahead of the factory Yamaha team. Maybe some way to go out. Got this Mugello circuit, one of Dan McDonald's kinder circuits. But I haven't played this game in quite a while, for a couple of weeks, so I did a mini practice race before I started recording. Around 4 laps around this circuit, just to get back into the swing of things, shake off that rust. And you can see on the screen it seems to be working as we're not making too many mistakes in this qualifying effort. We're a bit slow up the hill through those double rights. We're getting braking into the chicane, just about. Which I don't often say is, oh, here comes the rain. This could have been perfect timing for McDonald. No one else is out. He goes into the final set to this tricky downhill right-hander, and oh, the water's splashing onto the screen now. Gone very wide though. And through the fast chicane, do love that chicane. At least you're going to put a chicane in, make it a bit fast, make it tricky. Like you have in Melbourne with their chicane, even though they've done something stupid with the curbs there. Some reason they have a square exit curb in the second part of the series, I don't understand that. It used to be much better when you have a kind of rounded exit curve which followed the contours of the track. You can see 46.9 from McDonald. That might be good in these conditions, as everyone's now heading out, but it's pouring down in qualifying 2. Hopefully it sticks around for the race, as we know McDonald is a bit handy in the wet. Kind of backs the bike in a bit too much though into that left-hander. I do love this circuit, and McDonald does as well. And they got 3 tenths up even though it's poured it down. And he's got that chicane wrong. You can see the circuit is just undulating, loads of chicanes. There's a beautiful chicane down the hill. Into the right, not how you wanted it. Into the left, that's a bit more like it. Clip the curb on the outside, but still up McDonald. On his previous, oh, he's down! I did not feel that at all. I guess he just clipped the curb in the wrong way, but I think that time for McDonald might be good enough to be right at the front. Yeah, we'll repair even though we're not going out again. Let's see. Oh, yes, it is. What? What is everyone else doing? Well, all the weather guys at like Honda and Ducati not telling them to go out, as McDonald grabs pole by a country mile ahead of his teammate, the Flying Finn, with Vinales in third and Rossi in fourth. It's still Yamaha at the top, and then it's double Ducati with Petrucci ahead of Dovi. And it's the Hondas. It is just like practice, isn't it? With Pedrosa, Crutchlow and Marquez occupying the third row. And then on the fourth row, you've got Lorenzo, Iannone and Zarco, as we've got 4 Italians in the top 12. So let's see if McDonald can hold off the Italian charge in the race. And it's like someone's turned the sprinklers up to 100, as we're looking at a beautiful grid and some beautiful conditions for McDonald in the background, as there are the third and fourth rows. Then outside the top 12, you've got Espargaro leading the fifth row, Folger leading the sixth row, the Baz and Rins. You've got a Bat and Espargaro, Paul Espargaro leading the eighth row, and it's like Bradley Smith is on the special row.
So the race is about to begin, and the riders know that all the hard work they put in won't mean a thing They can't cross the finish line in one of the positions that count.
Look at that clear run for McDonald. At least to what you can see of the front stretch with a bit of a dip before you get into that first corner. Just wait for the lights to appear and go out for this 6-lap race. The weather conditions aren't able to work. Too worried about tyre wear. I'm just not worried about anyone heading towards the first corner. Look at this beautiful start. Can ease the bike into the apex. Hug that inside curve like his favourite granny. And strolled away from the rest. At least that's what we hope. He goes into the chicane. We've got the flying fin still in second, but over a second behind already after one sector. That's not what McDonald wants to be doing. Can't cut corners like that and get away with it often, as you saw in qualifying. And look at this deluge. I'm sure there's 10 million Rossi fans still in the circuit though, as you saw in the front stretch, the 3 of the Rossi flags. Don't go over that curve, McDonald. Know what happened in practice in qualifying. As now he's got over a 2-second lead on the flying fin. This time McDonald's the only one who brought a boat to this race. As Rossi gets past the flying fin now, up into second. And that home support pushing him on. They might not be a match for McDonald. You can see yellow flags all the way around the outside of that corner. And you'll see it down the home stretch as well as you go into the chicane. And the lead's now over 4 seconds to Rossi. McDonald, calm down. You might lap someone in this race at this rate. Takes a very wide line into the final left-hander. Such a glorious corner. Now down the front straight, just nipped to the left-hand side. There are all the yellow flags for Rossi. So he crossed the line, go on to the second lap. It is their hero behind us. But how far behind us? Over 5 seconds. 5. I was just blitzed it on the opening of that. So go into the left and then the right. But I did say this is one of McDonald's more favourable circuits. And then when you put the rain on top as well, it's just icing on the cake for him. So he's just got to keep control. Be calm with the bike. Tyre wear shouldn't be an issue in the wet conditions. But in practice, he did practice with the medium tyres. And again, tyre has never really been an issue around here. Let's hit to Barbara's down, the Spaniard, on 22nd. Not going to be challenging for points today. Looks like no one's going to be challenging McDonald for the win either. It's around halfway through the second lap. I'm recording this the day after, in real life, the MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3 seasons ended. After the Valencia finale, where in Moto3 and Moto2 we kind of already knew who was winning the championship. But in MotoGP, it was Marc Marquez v Andrea Dovizioso on the Ducati. And I really did want Dovi to win. For years he has been with Ducati. He's helped build that team up again as a title force. And with the arrival of Jorge Lorenzo this year, you would have expected perhaps a Spaniard to be the guy to be challenging. Even though that Ducati is very hard to adapt to, and yeah, Lorenzo is definitely showing that this season. As we go on to the third lap, 47.6 for McDonald. But in the finale, Dovi was, I think, 21 points behind Marquez heading into it, so he needs to win the race. Whatever happened, Dovi needs to win the race, and unfortunately Ducati just wasn't quite up there. As all the flying fins past Rossi into second, at the end of the long straight, no doubt, into that first corner. But there was a situation in the race where Ducati were like, well, Dovi's faster, he's going for the title, let him through Jorge. And Jorge refused. Or didn't listen, or whatever. I haven't read any interviews afterwards, I don't exactly know what his line of thinking was, but not helping his teammate out. Helping Marquez out, his fellow Spaniard instead. Maybe. Who knows? But I have seen on Twitter a little quote from the team boss who was saying, "Oh, we just suggested it to Jorge." Trying to cover the prize signing's arse, maybe. Yeah, a bit disappointing from him, but getting nothing new from him. That's why he's a bit of a divisive figure, Jorge. No doubt he's got talent. You can respect the talent, but just his attitude sometimes and stuff like that going to taint his character. As they're about halfway through this race, and McDonald is cruising. Just steaming along. Look at that, 47.1 now. He's approaching the 46. It's dry weather times. In these conditions. Unbelievable. The tyre wear looking very good. Around a third of the tyre's gone in the bottom right. So yeah, very disappointed for Dovi not to achieve that, as both Ducatis crashed out Lorenzo and then Dovi afterwards. From what I can tell, I kind of didn't watch the race. I was a bit upset with Dorna because they copyrighted one of the episodes, so not my good books at the moment, and they have done that before, but that was like 4 years ago. I thought they actually learnt by now, but I'm hoping it is just a mistake again. I don't actually have to kind of re-upload it. We'll see. Now it's been appealed. But yeah, very disappointed for Dovi, but Ducati looks like a decent bike. They've developed it well. You know, there's a bit of a point where Dovi perhaps wasn't getting the results, and Jorge started getting good in the second half of the season, or Lorenzo I should say. So looking into next season, it should be good for Ducati. I really do hope it is good and Dovi can have another run at the title. But for Honda, Marquez has saved their asses again, perhaps. Because a bike, maybe over the whole season was the best, but it still had its issues. All the bikes had their issues. No Ducati with stability, as always. At least in Lorenzo's hands, but it seemed to be much better than it was, much more drivable than it has been in. Just every year it seems to be getting better at Ducati. With drivability. In the Honda as well. Showing with kind of its engine braking. Which is something that Ducati really got a hold of, and there's been some articles written about how they've managed to do that with the ECU and stuff, and stuff that I don't understand really, but it's very interesting to read about it. Always is. No, the art of war in motorsport. It really is interesting. As Danny's down from 12th. As I was talking about Honda, and he's the guy who actually won the race yesterday. Ahead of Zarco, Johan Zarco. What a rookie season he's had. Had a little dip in the middle, but when he's been at his best, it has been spectacular. Oh, he could have won the first race of the season as well. Guitar on his MotoGP debut. We crashed out. Had a couple of races like that. He perhaps hasn't carried the pace to the finish, but yesterday was his best race. I'm really looking forward to what Zarco can do, and maybe put his name in the frame for succeeding Rossi in the Yamaha when the Italian no doubt retires in, if it's not next season, probably a season after, because he will be around 40 then, as we go on the final lap of the race. It's crazy to think that we're getting very close to a post-Rossi MotoGP. I wonder how it's going to turn out in, say, 5 years from now, what the championship will look like. Of course, then it's like he's got his heir apparent in Vinales alongside him, and Vinales was... I'm not sure how to rate his season. He was very good. Maybe the bike wasn't there, and he couldn't step up to that when the bike was a bit more difficult, and Rossi could on the occasions, and yeah, still decent first season for Nice. He battled for the title. Gaps didn't quite have enough. Neither did Yamaha either. They were very disappointing, Yamaha. Just having a very difficult bike that wouldn't work in certain windows, you know, around abrasive surfaces as well. Especially we saw here in Jerez. Like we saw in Valencia as well. Tech 3 was much better. Tech 3 seemed to be a much more rideable bike than the factory Yamaha at times. Like you're seeing with McDonald here, with the satellite bike being much better than the factory Yamaha. So they've got to go back to the drawing board and really work out their issues for next season. But I'm expecting Bernardes and Rossi to be right up there, and Rossi fully healed as well, maybe, from his injuries from mid-season. As he battles past the flying fin, we might have a 1-2 here for Elusive. We will see as McDonald goes round the final corner. And I'll talk about more of the teams in future episodes, but those are the factory teams at least, for the big three. As McDonald crosses the line and wins again. What a streak to begin the season. Oh yes, you whipped that, cowboy. Yes, he won by 34.4 seconds as Rossi, that home support, gets him to second ahead of the flying fin by a couple of tenths of a second. Then we got Vinales in fourth, Dobby fifth, Crutcho sixth, Petrucci in seventh. Superb result for the Pramac, with Lorenzo in eighth, Zarco in ninth. Superb result for the Tech 3 rider as well. And we've got the Aprilia in 10th for Alicia Spargo, ahead of Iannone, Scott Redding, Mark Marquez in 13th. What a mare for the Hondas, with Pedrosa in 16th. We've got Baz in 14th and Folger holding off the Spaniard by a couple of tenths of a second for the final point. As we've got Baptista in, for Spargo in 19th. That's pretty good for the KTM. Only around, is that 4 seconds off a point? Is that the closest they've been to a point in our couple of seasons, or season and a bit now? As we've got about rounding out the top 20, and right at the back is Hector Barber after early fall. So in the championship, McDonald has an over race win lead as we're further away through the season. Leads by 28 points ahead of Vinales and his teammate, the Flying Fin, up to third ahead of Mark Marquez after that mare for Honda. Down to fourth, 39 points back already. Rossi 42 points back in fifth, and then we got Dovi ahead of Lorenzo by 10 points. Crutcho up to 8th, ahead of Zarco, with Pedrosa down to 10th. We've got Petrucci up to them ahead of Iannone, Espargo up to 13th, ahead of Scott Redding. And further down, Lars Baz with his first points of the season, ahead of Alex Rins in 18th. There's 19 riders scored so far this season, with Bradley Swift now in that last spot. As in the constructors standings, Yamaha running away with it, with Elusive's Dan McDonald leading the way. They lead by 54 points, over 2 race wins ahead of Honda already, with Ducati in third, Suzuki fourth, Aprilia fifth, and KTM in last. And in the team's rankings, no surprise that Elusive are leading by 42 points ahead of the factory Yamaha team. And then we got the Honda in third, Ducati fourth, Pramac ahead of Tech 3 by a single point now in fifth, and LCI in seventh, Suzuki 8th, Aprilia 9th, Mark VDS 10th, Aspar 11th, Avinta with the first points in 12th, with KTM, no team not to score. Oh yes, look how happy McDonald is. Perfect weekend once again for the Scot. It's looking incredibly good. I'm sure the clones will be enjoying the fine wine, no doubt, we'll be celebrating with tonight. As yes, could not believe it. Oh yes, that bike. It's definitely the one. As Rossi and it's like the Flying Fin exchanging notes in the background. So what a weekend for the MotoGP team. McDonald was perfect all weekend on, and the Flying Fin finishing on the podium after starting in second. Well, in Moto2, the home hero Andrea could not quite grab the victory, but still from 34th up to second leads the championship, with the Portuguese rider once again grabbing the podium, started fourth, finished in third. And in Moto3, Alejandro started in third, finished second, and the Swede from a disappointing fifth on the grid for him finished in third, and he still leads the championship. Elusive leads all 3 championships, all the riders finished on the podium. What a week, and the best in Elusive's history so far, has in it. Like Andrea improves his forward management and cornering, Portuguese rider improves his braking, throttle management, body position, and Moto2 affinity, and Alejandro improves his braking, cornering, and body position. And that's a decent haul of credits, isn't it? Almost $1 million, and reputation as well. And before we go, you might have to pop into the garage. I believe some parts have been developed. They have. So let's see what else we've got to develop on the KTM. As it got the engine, suspension, frame and brakes. Everything needs to be developed well. Let's do the frame. Haven't done much to the handling. So there we go. That would take 5 weeks, along with the engine and suspension would take 3 weeks. So next time out, we'll be heading to Spain for the second time this season and Circuit de Barcelona. Catalan, another kind Circuit McDonald from the past. Can he continue this streak at the beginning of the season? Can the Flying Finn finish on the podium once again? Can all our riders finish on the podium and continue leading the Moto2 and Moto3 Championship? Find out next time. So out for watching. I'll see you then.